Welcome to Garbage and Gold, the podcast where two friends share the worst and the best about everything.
Sometimes there's fights, sometimes there's agreement, and always there is plenty of snark. I'm your host, Lindsay.
And I'm your other host, Lisa. If you want opinions, you have come to the right girls.
We are legit friends, and we have been sharing our opinions with each other for over 10 years. And now we want to hear your opinions as well. We'll tell you more about sharing those at the end of the show.
So you guys, it's time for you to get cozy, settle in for about 30 minutes of passionate, silly deliberation. All right, Lindsay, what are our poll results from Disney princesses? We'll start with those. Just the results from Disney princesses week.
We had a tough race. I will tell you, people felt very passionately about our Disney princesses choices.
They did.
And Lisa, more specifically, they felt very passionate about your Disney princesses choices.
Yep. Yeah, people were just real up in my business about it, which is fine. I stand by my decision 100%.
Well, how very adult of you, but
I'm a grown-up.
The Lindsay Garbage of Snow White as Disney Princess Garbage does win by a landslide.
It's
great. Not even close.
Okay, great. Fantastic. We're so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Super
Thanks,
happy.
guys. Snow White, you are trash.
Yeah.
The Lisa vote for Jasmine as the gold Disney princess did narrowly beat out my choice of Rapunzel. So
Heck yeah, she did.
That one was close.
Okay, well, I still won, though. It doesn't matter how much you win by if it's a victory. Okay, so it's clear. Okay,
landslide.
Great. Okay, well,
landslide. Oh, okay.
Also winner.
Well, I think what you saw is...
No. The viewers have spoken, Lindsay. The listeners, excuse me.
Remember when you were being an adult? Remember when that happened?
I don't.
30 seconds ago.
That time has passed.
Oh, okay.
New minute, new me. Jasmine is a winner, also.
I feel like people just got a snapshot of what it is to work with you, like just now. Yes, people, that's what I put up with.
Oh, you're not wrong, though. You're not wrong.
All right, are you ready to hear the poll results for New Year's resolutions? Because those were surprising.
Yes, I am really interested to hear the poll results of those.
So the poll results for New Year's resolution is our garbages tied.
What?
We tied garbages.
Oh, wow. So our garbages of social media hiatus.
Yeah.
And then people just like biting off more they can chew or whatever, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So we tied on that. And then for gold, we did not tie. I won gold as well. So I believe that puts me at 3 wins to your 2 wins if we're going by individual polls. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is a good week to be me. I have won. I'd like to thank the Academy. So thank you all. I appreciate you all. Let's stick together. Teamwork. We can keep winning.
No. Vote your conscience, obviously.
Vote Lindsay 2020. Oh, wait. I'm not running for president.
Please don't. Oh, my God. You don't want this.
I do not want
You don't want this in your life. No, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Okay, we talked about doing our favorite listener comments or something to highlight different listeners from this week. Would you like to share yours?
Ooh, I have a few. It was a good week for, well, me, obviously, because I won. So I think one of my favorites is Kiki Kens on, I think that's how you say it, on Instagram. Yep. She voted for Disney princesses saying, since she's the only one with sense,
I know.
#Lindsay Garbage, #Lindsay Gold. Thank you, Kiki. I feel like I don't know you, but we're about to be best friends. My other favorite was my friend commented as she voted for my garbage that Snow White is her garbage because when she was at Disney with her children and they were small, her 2-year-old son loved all the Disney princesses, but did, for some reason, pull a sword on Snow White at breakfast one day. So 2-year-olds have spoken. They know what's up. And then another one that I feel like we need to stop in its tracks, and it's related to the New Year's resolution episode. Luke Peltier, I think
it's Peltier. Yep.
Peltier. Luke asks, how do I vote to bring back peacock vows? And Luke, that's not what we're doing here. That is not a thing. I'm so angry. Luke.
I stand beside you. No, I know Luke also.
Luke, it is not a thing. If you want to get bullied on the playground, bring back peacock vows. Lisa, what about you? Got some favorite comments from this week?
I do. Thank you. I got to scroll through and find them where they were. On my personal Instagram, I had asked friends what they anticipated my garbage and gold would be. And my friend at Makeshift Jen on Twitter correctly anticipated that my gold princess was going to be Jasmine. So shout out to Jen for that. You were absolutely correct. You know me very well. I also just want to give a shout out to my friend Erica, who, having started listening to our podcast, will send me several snaps a day giving her garbage and gold on just a variety of topics. So, like, she told me her garbage and gold princess and her garbage and gold New Year's resolution, but then she's also just telling me garbage and gold of other things in her life. Just in general. Like, she just will tell me, here's a good topic idea, and here are my answers. And I love it. And I love Erica, and she's a wonderful human. So, it's been really fun.
I think we might be changing the world.
Yeah, I mean...
How people view the world.
I don't think that is an overstatement. No, I think that's accurate. I think it's 100% accurate.
Agreed.
Yeah, totally.
I absolutely agreed.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the poll results. Those are our shout outs to our listeners from our garbage and gold of Disney princesses and New Year's resolutions. All right, this week, guys, we're hitting you in the nostalgia feels with 90s musical genres. So, Lindsay, what is your most garbage music of the 90s?
Lisa, this was hard. This was a painful decision I had to make because if I am honest, during the 90s, I was strictly listening to country music. I'm sorry, I was in a small town. It's what we did. And
were you listening to 90s country, or you were just listening to... Okay.
Oh my gosh. I know, right? You can judge me. I judge myself. Poor, naive Lindsay. She didn't know any better at the time. But I was listening to country, and I was listening to my garbage genre for music, and I really didn't explore what was good in 90s music until later. So I missed the 90s during the 90s, but like have made up for it. So my garbage genre, teen pop, particularly in the 90s, we are talking Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees, Hanson, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, and Mandy Moore. Now, I have gone on record with my love of all things Mandy Moore, and I am achieving my goal to have Mandy be in every podcast I do. I heart you, Mandy. You're the best. But I think she would agree with me that her early pop stuff was not peak Mandy Moore. It just wasn't great. So while this genre is one that I listen to all the time, hello, mbop is like an earworm. It's legit.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
I have the poster.
Absolutely. You have the. You had the poster.
I had the Hanson poster hanging.
Did you
in my
say
room.
Had or have?
Had. Okay, Lisa. Had.
Okay.
I might still own it, but it's not up. It's fine. While I loved it, while I listened to it all the time, and while I listen to it still, like, if you go on a road trip with me, we will hit Britney at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
It really is trash for a couple reasons. One of the big ones, though, is it really doesn't move music forward at all. It became very cookie cutter. Everything started to sound the same. The same songwriters were writing all the music. The music videos look the same. It just wasn't original stuff. And it also made teenage girls in the 90s think that they could wear super ultra low-waisted jeans to school.
Have
and
you
then all
seen
the things hung
that
out.
those are trying to come back? Have you seen?
Yes, God, help us. No, it's not a thing. And that was really kind of ushered in by these teen pop stars.
Yeah, we should definitely blame them. You know what also is really unfair? Let me just get in a small tirade right now. That girls now don't really have an awkward phase.
They can't because they have to post on social media. So they've got to they have to keep up with the influencers. Yeah. No, there's no awkward phase.
It's really unfair. Like, I need to see your Mickey Mouse shirt and your purple denim shorts. Where are they? You can't be dressing as cute as me at 12. Yeah. That's not fair. It's not fair.
I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but I have a picture in one of my high school yearbooks, and I obviously didn't know it was yearbook picture day for like the basketball team or whatever I was on. Yeah. And so I was wearing like flared jeans and an Elmo t-shirt.
Yes.
Elmo was big in the late 90s. Let's talk about that.
Well, there was also that very long strand of like retro-ish shirts.
This was not retro. Part of it glowed in the dark. I remember liking that about it. Again, I obviously didn't know.
I was thinking it was like a vintage.
No.
This
no,
was like a current.
I also wore a ton of vintage in the late 90s. But yeah, you know, when you just are like, whatever, I don't care. I haven't done laundry. I'll just wear this. It'll be fine.
Perfect.
And that's
Perfect.
when you.
It's going to be in the yearbook forever.
And that's when you like meet the cutest guy, or you get your picture taken for the newspaper, and then that photo ends up in the yearbook and everyone sees it. Okay, so back to 90s teen pop. Yes. Not that we ever left. So some of the peak songs of this genre were, Lisa, do you want to take a guess what is on my list?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we're thinking of Britney. So Hit Me Baby One More Time would be on there. Mm-hmm. Christina Aguilera was also big.
Yeah, but what song? What was the song?
Genie in a Bottle.
You got it.
Backstreet Boys. Oh, I Want It That Way. Is it too early for I Want It? It is I Want It That Way? Okay.
I Want It That Way.
NSYNC. Because I know Bye 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 was really big, but I don't think that was initially.
2000s.
Oh, boy.
I was in 2000s. NSYNC's first big one, I Want You Back.
Oh, God, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
We're also looking at Wannabe by Spice Girls.
Oh, my God, yes.
I still jam to that song.
Obviously.
All the words. Robin's Show Me Love.
Oh my gosh, Robin is still amazing. She just has
Robin
like a new
so
album, and it's so good. Yeah,
she is amazing.
She is.
Then Hanson's Mbop.
Yes, if they had another song, I haven't heard it honestly.
But the best teen pop song of the 90s is "Tearing Up My Heart" by NSYNC. It was their second single. I might have watched the video for this like 3 times today in an eating establishment on my laptop. And I loved it each time, and people could see what I was watching. So to all the people in the Panera, thank you. I do love me some Tearing Up My Heart. So there's a few reasons why this is the gold in the middle of all the garbage. And that is because there is something that happens in my heart. So the song starts with JC Chazé, as you know.
Yes,
he sings, and then a bass line comes in, and like something happens in my heart when the bass line comes in of just pure joy.
Yes,
this like funky bass.
Yes,
and then the dance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a chance to go to YouTube and watch "Tearing Up My Heart" by NSYNC, their official music video, it is peak 90s. The chorus parts, they are all dressed in baggy black pants, probably jeans,
of course,
and white shirts of various styles, including JC Chazé's, which is open and blowing in the fan.
Of course.
As they're doing the dance that we all knew so well. NSYNC, You Will Have My Heart Forever, best boy
100%,
band.
100%. I was going to ask you that because that was kind of a divisive issue when we were in the 90s, was if you were a Backstreet girl or if you were an NSYNC girl. Right. And I was firmly NSYNC.
Well, because Backstreet was first.
They were first.
But then I thought NSYNC was the same thing. Like when I heard on the radio, I'm like, oh, Backstreet has a new song. And then I was like, oh, new band. What?
Yeah.
No. I do love NSYNC. I don't mind Backstreet.
That
Backstreet Back song. That's legit. It
is legit. It's soups legit.
It's a good one, but NSYNC forever.
Yes, 100%. Thank you. Thank you for being on the right side of history on that one.
You are welcome. So that is my garbage. My garbage is teen pop. So Lisa, lay it on us. What is your garbage of 90s music?
So very similar to you. I still actually kind of love this genre of music.
We are 90s girls. Let's be
100%.
honest.
100%.
We love our 90s music.
Yeah. And I know that it's garbage, but I'm okay loving this garbage and can still recognize it as absolute trash. Okay?
I feel you 100%.
My garbage of the 90s is EDM, aka electronic dance music.
Thank you for clarifying for all y'all who don't know what EDM is.
EDM that includes stuff like dance music, club music, rave, electronic, whatever. Basically, if you went to a club or a rave during the 90s, and when I say club or rave, I mean if you were like me and went to the local YMCA when they had the dances on Fridays.
I was just going to ask you how many raves you've been to, because that does seem off-brand for you.
It felt like a rave when I was 12 at the YMCA on the Friday nights. Were there glow
sticks sometimes?
No, but sometimes there was pizza, and it got real. So yeah, it was super great. We would go every Friday. It was a huge deal. Anyway, okay, when we put on like our glitter from Hot Topic, you freaking know. Okay.
I like want that back. Like,
I still have my Hot Topic glitter. I have
from the 90s?
Yes.
Lisa, you need to throw that away. That's
I will not.
Bad.
I will not. Okay, so it's basically anything that you'd hear at those places. It is a DJ making a master cut of tracks into a mix and playing it just, you know, for hours on end. So some classic dance music from the 90s that I still unabashedly jam out to today, and I'll never apologize. I'll never stop, even though I know it is just trash. Another Night by Real McCoy. Be My Lover by LaBouche.
Okay, that was like every high school dance.
I know!
It was
Because it just
dance.
like, it just pulls you back. Oh my
Yeah.
God. My Boo by Ghost Town DJs. Was this not happening in Iowa? Was this only happening in Houston, Texas?
No. We were too busy getting in trouble for singing inappropriate words to Hey Mickey. But it's fine. Keep going.
And Better Off Alone by Alice DJ. So those are songs. The reason that they're trash mainly is because there's probably 8 words in the whole song, and the song is like 12 minutes long. There's 8 words. They just say it over and over again over synthetic beats with a heavy bass, and there's not a lot of musical talent happening. But my God, it is so
dare you.
It is so addicting. I just cannot. Oh my God, it just like sets my blood on fire to listen to it still to this day, even though it's such trash. I'm even one of those people that really likes techno remixes of songs, but only when appropriate. So like when I hear Adele club mix, I'm like, no. You can shut that down right now because I'm not here for it. But like the techno remix of Total Eclipse of the Heart like sends me to another plane of existence. It makes me so happy. You guys can't see this because it's a podcast, but Lindsay is judging me so hard.
I think my eyes might permanently be rolled back in my head. Like, I don't know if they can come back from that.
Oh, I love it! Do you like the original Total Eclipse of the Heart, or is even that too much for you?
Original over the remix for sure. But
okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, so when I hear it, I just am like, again.
Remember, I was listening to country music, so like,
okay,
you can have a free pass on that Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Okay, great. Thank you. So again, I know these songs are not quality. I'm okay with that, and sometimes it's all right to indulge in a little garbage now and again. So those are my... that's my garbage genre, is the dance music, because it has that nostalgia feel for me from the YMCA dances, and there's just something about it that just gets me amped up. And I should probably be ashamed by that, but I'm not. I'm not embarrassed about that.
Okay, so I have totally remembered the bass line for Tearing Up My Heart.
Please.
Are you ready for it?
Uh-huh.
Can we cut out me trying to sing that bass line? Because that was not good.
I will.
I apologize. I apologize to Justin Timberlake. Because
Who is
he
definitely
obviously
listening to our
wrote it.
podcast. Yes. And wrote it and is doing it. Yes. Perfect.
Completely.
Okay, so to recap, Lindsay's garbage of the 90s is like the teen pop scene, and Lisa's garbage from the 90s is dance/techno music. Although we both agree that we actually like these things, but can also agree that they are absolute trash.
They are super nostalgic. Like,
They are.
you know how like smells and sounds like take you to a place? I feel like the minute you were like, Be My Lover, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am back in that gym.
Transported. Yes. To the dank gym.
To the gym that is only decorated for prom. And so for high school, the lights are just off.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Oh, so good.
Are we ready to talk gold?
Yes, let's get to the good stuff. The music we still adore to this day and are not super embarrassed to talk about. So, Lindsay, what is your 90s musical genre gold?
My gold is, and let's remember, I was the worst at listening to good music during the 90s, but I have made up for it in the decades since. And so my gold selection for 90s music is insert distorted guitar sound, grunge.
Oh, it's so good.
Grunge.
So good.
Grunge began in the Pacific Northwest, was super popular in the early 90s. This genre came from kind of this pendulum swing from like glam rock and hair rock of the 80s. And so like it just did things differently. Not that these bands didn't have hair, because they definitely had hair, but it was long and dirty and often hanging in their faces. And I have been accused even now of being like stuck in that is what is attractive, is like long, dirty hair. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's a thing.
Everybody
Did this
has
just
their
become
thing.
therapy? It might have become therapy. It's all good. So the top grunge artists of the 90s include Nirvana. You might have heard of them. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and Pearl Jam. And they really took the world by storm in 1991. However, and this is the most grunge thing ever, I love it so much, many of these bands were uncomfortable with their success.
Of
and
course.
were equally suspicious of this grunge label.
Yeah, they didn't want to be mainstream.
They did not.
Don't give them a label. They're not here for the label. They're here to fight the man. Oh my God.
That's right.
So grunge. Yes.
Through their long, dirty hair where they can't see anything.
Yes.
So some characteristics of grunge music were that their lyrics were more direct, but they were also less polished from a musical standpoint. So before that, music was super polished. It was very like crisp and neat. And grunge really brought in this like dirty, distorted, it doesn't sound super great, kind of a thing. And one of the reasons why I really love this genre is it also ushered in like a whole different rock kind of music.
It did.
It did. So like bands that I love now, like list Nirvana as some of their inspirational.
Right.
Like I wanted to be in a band because I heard Nirvana.
Right. They were a catalyst for like a whole new generation of musicians. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
And like grunge was, because it was so kind of simplistic in how it was done, like even if you were just a kid with a guitar, you could play grunge because it was not difficult. It wasn't all these like crazy like lead solos and big, anthemic things. It was much more like achievable.
Sure. Okay.
So grunge is gold because it completely changed the music industry. And I will say, I think it gave visibility and credibility to this indie alternative music that before was super low key. Because like, honestly, there is no way girl in small town Iowa is going to hear about grunge before like we weren't talking about alternative music before kind of grunge hit the scene.
Right.
So,
Right.
sadly, though, with grunge, it was really a flash in the pan. By the mid-90s, it had already declined in popularity. So the big thing is the lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, died in 1994. And then Pearl Jam, who was kind of the other big one, started having issues with their own popularity and started kind of fighting everything. Again, the grungest thing ever.
Yes, of course.
Started to refuse making music videos, started to refuse to do interviews. And then I did not know this. This is like something I learned in doing my research. So party tip for all of you. You can share this story. Pearl Jam actually got into a huge fight with Ticketmaster. And so because Ticketmaster was like taking a bunch of money, and Ticketmaster allegedly charged a service charge on tickets to a benefit concert that Pearl Jam had put on. And Pearl Jam was real mad about it. And because they were fighting everyone and fighting the institution, they refused to play any location that was a Ticketmaster location. And so they basically, because of that boycott, they didn't play in the US for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like they kind of shot themselves in the foot. So some of that early success was really difficult for these bands, and it wasn't sustainable, partly because grunge came about because they were fighting the system, and then they became the system and they had to fight the system. And then it just really becomes a mixed bag because grunge paved the way for the new genre of post-grunge, which is defined as keeping the attitudes and music of grunge, particularly the thick, distorted guitars, but with a more radio-friendly, commercially oriented sound.
So they sold out.
Yeah, kind of. It's a mixed bag, though, because while it did bring us bands like Bush, I love Bush, and Foo Fighters and Collective Soul.
Okay.
Again, a little more mainstream, but kind of keeping with that.
I can definitely see it. It's like your parents would be a lot more okay with you listening to Foo Fighters than Nirvana. Yeah.
Totally. But so while post-grunge brought us these really great bands, they also brought us Creed. Mic dropped. This is why.
Do you know, this was a couple years ago. I'm sure you don't know this, but it's like one of my favorite facts. The Carolina Panthers, they used to do like planking was a thing, owling was a thing, whatever. They used to Creed bomb each other. So they would just like walk into the locker room and start singing Creed, and then like everybody would just join in, and then it would just like disperse. It's like a flash mob, but for Creed, and it was like amazing. Okay.
So some of the highlights of the grunge phase, some of the best songs.
Okay.
Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yes,
Again,
that is like the first one I think of.
If you've heard of it. And really their whole Nevermind album is just kind of sets the tone
It
for
is
that
very
whole
iconic,
genre.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Classic. Even Flow by Pearl Jam, which is one of those songs that I always go, what is that song? And then I play it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the song.
Yep.
The Interstate Love Song and Them Bones by Stone Temple Pilots.
I was going to say
So
STP.
good.
Yep, with it.
No Rain by Blind Melon.
Yep.
But I really think the epitome of, because Smells Like Teen Spirit is just a like super easy, like, yeah, everyone thinks of that one. I do think that the best grunge song from the 90s is Lithium by Nirvana. It has these melodic verses with lyrics like, I'm so ugly, but that's okay, because so are you. Hello grunge. There's like the rock of the bridge thing, and then the repetitive lyric with the end that always ends with, I'm not gonna crack, in the chorus, and then an epic key change that just like takes you home.
Yes.
It is the best. That is my gold. Thank you, grunge. Thank you, Kurt Cobain. All right, so Lisa, I want to hear your gold.
Yeah, this one was really hard for me because, like we've said 100 times, we're both very much teenagers of the 90s and very much listened to a lot of music and watched a lot of MTV during that time. So, and because we still very much live in that realm and haven't really let that go. So, but if I'm
you saying A, that we're old, and B, that we're stuck in the past?
I am saying both of those things.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good with it. When it comes to 90s music, I'm with you.
Yes. But I need to be true to myself here. I need to be honest, because it was gold to me then, it is gold to me now, and I'm exposing my heart of hearts to you and telling you that
it's
my
okay.
90s...
Elmo t-shirt, remember. I told them about the Elmo t-shirt.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Elmo. Okay. My 90s genre gold is punk and ska.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so punk music, it's a subgenre of rock. It developed in the mid-70s in the US and the UK and Australia, but it really became popular in the US in the 90s. So punk bands, they produced really fast-paced songs, and they were short with hard-edged melodies and singing styles, really stripped-down instruments, and often, similar to grunge, political anti-establishment lyrics. So a lot of angst, which sign me up. Okay. Punk embraces a DIY ethic, and a lot of the bands self-produced their recording, so there were a lot of indie labels when it came to punk and ska music, which I really liked. So you could see a lot of independent record labels kind of popping up through that, and they produced their own stuff and like stuff of their friends, basically, is how punk and ska bands got out there. Lindsay, can you take a guess who the first punk band to make it big in the 90s was?
The first to make it big? Is it Green Day?
It is Green Day. Yes. Green Day's album Dookie changed the game.
Sorry, every time I hear the album title, it just kills me.
You are not mature enough to listen to Dookie by Green Day. I love it. Oh, God. But yeah, they paved the way. Dookie paved the way for other punk bands in general because it went mainstream, and it also kind of spawned all these independent record labels for other punk and ska bands, and it kind of exploded the market, which is pretty cool to have a bunch of independent labels. So I think
the difference between like punk and grunge is punk was like, we're anti-establishment, we'll create our own establishment, and grunge was like, oh crap, we're the establishment, we gotta like shoot ourselves in the foot and make sure we don't make anything of ourselves.
Other punk bands that you may remember, in addition to Green Day, are Blink-182.
Oh my gosh, I love Blink-182.
The Offspring, NoFX, and Bad Religion. They were all really big in the 90s. My personal favorite was MXPX, but I did listen to a lot of Offspring. And then it's like at the very, very edge of the 90s, just cutting into the 2000s, Sum 41, Newfound Glory, Lit and Phoenix TX. Like, that is like my 90s childhood right there. That angsty
I love
scene.
Sum 41 the most.
Yeah.
I love them, love them, love them.
Yeah, right. Phoenix TX was a big part of my life. Phoenix TX and MXPX were a big part of my life, and The Offspring. My personal top 5 punk songs, they're not in any order, but these are just the ones that as I was doing research, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, it's these. Punk Rock Show by MXPX.
So good.
That song is like 45 seconds long. And it's so good. And it's my favorite
and you
of all
just
time.
lose your mind every time
I
you
do.
hear it.
Oh, I do. I have no chill about it. All My Fault by Phoenix TX. Do you remember this one? You might remember because this was kind of, it had popularity. Adam's Song by Blink-182. Yeah.
Yes, I
Hit
do
you in the
remember
feels,
Adam's
man.
song. Yeah,
Hit you in
absolutely.
the feels. This one, again, came out in 2000, but it's so close I wanted to include it. It's
nope.
It's Want You Bad by Offspring.
You have forfeited. You have not followed the rules. Lisa does not win this gold. Forfeit.
And also My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. So those are punk. Okay, so I'm also going to just dovetail with ska real quick. So ska punk, which is part of the punk genre, it's also so very 90s that it hurts. And ska is basically punk, but with a little bit more of a reggae influence, and it has brass instruments like trumpets, trombones, saxophones, whatever. Those would include bands like Sublime, No Doubt, Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Hello, Clueless soundtrack. Ska was definitely around prior to the 90s, but it hit the height of popularity in the 90s, which is why it is included with my gold as well. So punk and ska together are where I'm going with here. So I do need to just slip in a real quick honorable mention here for 90s hip-hop, because 90s is the absolute golden age for rap and hip-hop too, because I love Wu-Tang Clan, like, so much.
I was shocked that hip hop was not your gold.
Like,
I'm shocked by it.
I know. It was really hard for me, but I think, again, I had to be true to myself, and I didn't really start listening to like hip hop rap until probably closer to 2000. But I went back in the catalog, obviously, and listened to 90s stuff because that's where a lot of the good stuff is. But I'm being true to myself and saying my gold then was punk and ska. Liquid Swords by GZA might be one of the best albums of all time, ever. Although my favorite Wu-Tang member is Ghostface Killah. Lindsay, do you have a favorite Wu-Tang member that you would like to share?
This might be shocking to you, but I do not have a favorite Wu-Tang Clan member. What is happening? I'm so sorry. I know who my favorite member of Migos is.
Oh, okay. Well, you're cooler than me. So,
yeah.
All right.
There you go. Maybe I'm just like up with the times and not stuck in the 90s listening to Wu-Tang Clan.
I am. Listen, Wu-Tang has new stuff too. Okay.
They do. Again, shocked that was not your gold. So my gold for the 90s music is the grunge genre. God bless you, grunge, and all that you brought to our world. And your gold...
Mainly Dave Grohl. I really love Dave Grohl.
Oh my gosh, I love Dave Grohl. And your gold was punk and ska. And then you also... Listeners, just keep in mind that Lisa did list a song that was released in 2000 in her gold.
Just as a personal favorite.
Does that disqualify her from winning?
No.
I think it might. I think there might be a disqualification.
No.
I don't know. We might have to check with the referees. Who are the? I think I'm the referee.
That's so
I'm
weird.
talking, so I think I'm the referee anyway. And Lisa does give a shout out to 90s hip hop as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
As a special bonus for you guys, because we love you so much, Lisa and I have actually compiled our favorite 90s music, garbage and gold tracks into 2 different playlists for you that are up on Spotify right now.
Absolutely. I have a link for each of those in our show notes. There is a Lisa's playlist, which will have garbage and gold from my 90s garbage and gold, and a playlist for Lindsay from her 90s garbage and gold. So you can click on those links and listen to those.
I listened to my playlist today and I was very, very happy.
Isn't it so fun?
Yeah, it was good.
It was
a good time.
Yes. Okay, so you guys enjoy those, and it will help give you a little bit of context if you don't know all the songs from the 90s or don't remember them or whatever. We got you.
Now it's time for you to go and cast your vote for our garbage options of teen pop or EDM, and for you to vote for your gold options. Which one did you like better, grunge or the cheating that happened with punk ska? on our Instagram and Twitter accounts, and you can find those at @GarbageGoldPod.
Make your voices heard and respect my decision to throw in an Offspring song from 2000 that they probably wrote in 99.
Cheaters never prosper.
We'll
Cheaters never
share
prosper.
the poll results on our next episode. Oh, and while you're out there voting, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast and tell your friends, because we really do like making some friends.
We really do. If you have a bad review, though, like, we get it. Like, you can have that hatred in your heart, but you can just keep it to yourself. Like, you just let that hatred just sit in there and poison you from the inside.
Yeah, you just push that down. That's fine. And as a super special incentive, any listeners who subscribe, rate, and review our podcast will be entered to win some exclusive and super rad Garbage and Gold swag. We'll be doing this now through March. So it's a limited time thing, and it's some good stuff, you guys. It's pretty choice.
It is amazing. So all you have to do is send us a DM on Twitter or Instagram. Again, you can find us at @GarbageGoldPod. I shouldn't have said at twice. That's fine. Or a screenshot to our email address, garbagegoldpod@gmail.com, and you're automatically entered to win some seriously cool merch. It's so good.
It's so good. Seriously, that's it. Like, we're trying to get our podcast rolling, and we'd love your help, and your help is rewarded. So it's a win-win, you guys. You're welcome.
Who doesn't like rewards? I love a reward.
Seriously. Okay, so that's enough self-promotion for now. Join us next week when we deliberate the garbage and gold of... I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's movie villains. We're doing movie villains.
Movie villains. But what is the... We're doing a specific category.
Yeah. Non-animated movie villains.
Don't come at us with those Disney villains. Not yet.
No, not yet.
We'll get there.
Spoiler, we'll get there one day, but not next week.
Okay, I have some movies to watch. I have some bad guys to rate. So I gotta go, and I cannot wait.
Oh, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.